Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Katie Thurston made her views on sex positivity clear during her Bachelor Nation tenure, yet her tagline may have gone too far. When I had the opportunity to go on The Bachelor and I was talking with the producer, like, what if we do this, and it became this entire thing, then my tagline for The Bachelorette was see what the buzz is all about, Katie, 34, recounted on the Barely Famous podcast episode on Friday, August 22nd. I'm like, okay, we might be a little overkill now. Katie first gained traction on TikTok during the coronavirus pandemic by filming short skits of herself discussing sex. A lot of people loved such chats, she told podcast host Kaylin Lowry. I never imagined it would go anywhere. Katie then brought a sex toy that was censored with a black box on the broadcast when she met franchise head Matt James, prompting producers to make jokes about it when she was announced as the next star. Katie is still overtly sex positive. It's not my primary emphasis or identity, but I'm happy to collaborate with a vibrator brand and discuss it, she said. I'll get DMs from folks, and I'm delighted to explain why it's acceptable to use a vibrator or to include it into your relationship. It is neither a negative thing nor a sin. I cannot see myself ever shying away from that. Katie added, it was a topic I was very enthusiastic about and wanted to educate both men and women about. I believe that it should be taught in schools as early as middle school. Bachelor has a more traditional demographic, so it was really contentious, she said. Some folks said, hell yeah, finally. We may become pals. Then you get folks saying, you're going to hell. You are nasty, and a slut. I'm like, you're watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. You know the ending. If you like, you can visit the fantasy suites with 3 different persons. Katie became engaged to late newcomer Blake during her season, however the relationship ended after only a few months. She then dated fellow candidate John Hersey for over a year before moving on to comedian Jeff Arcuri. Us Weekly reported in March that they married despite Katie's stage 4 breast cancer. Katie Thurston had never imagined, when she first started posting quirky TikToks in the early days of the pandemic, that her voice on sex positivity would one day spark national debates, stir outrage from conservative Bachelor fans, and simultaneously create a loyal following who saw her as a fearless, unapologetic advocate for openness and authenticity. It began innocently, 30-second clips filmed in her apartment, often with messy hair and a glass of wine nearby, where she would answer questions or share humorous anecdotes about relationships, dating, and the awkward misunderstandings people often carried around topics of intimacy. For Katie, these conversations felt natural, a way to turn what had been private frustrations into relatable laughs. If I can't joke about it, what's the point? She once told her closest friend. But what started as harmless chatter quickly evolved into a digital identity that both empowered her and would, eventually, weigh on her shoulders like an unavoidable label. When producers from The Bachelor came calling, Katie initially hesitated. She wasn't sure if her unfiltered humor and bold personality fit the glossy, carefully manicured world of ABC's long-running franchise. Yet the idea intrigued her, and the producers seemed to encourage her uniqueness rather than rein it in. What if we do this? One of them asked when brainstorming how to introduce her to America. What if we play up the vibrator joke? At first Katie laughed, it was classic reality TV, exaggerated and cheeky, but as she recounted years later on the Barely Famous podcast, she hadn't fully considered how a tagline like see what the buzz is all about would linger. I'm like, okay, we might be a little overkill now, she admitted, reflecting on how what started as fun self-expression became her brand whether she liked it or not. Her entrance on Matt James' season of The Bachelor became an instant viral moment. Carrying a vibrator, censored with a black box by the editors, she leaned into the joke with confidence. While Matt laughed, the women gasped, and the producers likely celebrated the meme potential they had just captured. It wasn't lost on Katie that the move split viewers in half. For some, she was a breath of fresh air, finally pushing against the franchise's often outdated expectations of female modesty. For others, she was vulgar, crass, and inappropriate. Katie herself was caught in the middle, proud of standing up for sex positivity, yet already aware that she might be reduced to the vibrator girl instead of a multi-dimensional human with layers far beyond the gimmick. Still, Katie leaned into the conversations. On TikTok, she explained that vibrators were not only healthy but important to normalize, and she started getting flooded with DMs from women who thanked her for giving voice to what they had been too embarrassed to say. Men also reached out, sometimes with earnest curiosity, other times with clumsy jokes, but Katie replied with patience, humor, and a sense of responsibility. "It's not my entire personality," she clarified, "but I'll never shy away from talking about it. If I can make even one person feel less ashamed, then I've done something right." Her journey as the Bachelorette was unprecedented in many ways. Katie's season was built around her boldness, with promos plastering her tagline and emphasizing her sex-positive image. Producers clearly saw the controversy as ratings gold, but Katie often wrestled with whether they were amplifying her message or exploiting it. "Bachelor has a more traditional demographic," she said later, "so it was really contentious. Some folks were like, 'Hell yeah, finally,' and others were like, 'You're nasty, you're a slut.' And I'm like, you're literally watching The Bachelor. You know how this works. People go to the fantasy suites with multiple partners, it's not like I invented that." Despite the polarizing opinions, Katie carried her season with raw honesty. She didn't hide her opinions, and she didn't back down from difficult conversations. Her relationship with Blake Moynes, a later rival to the season, became a whirlwind romance, culminating in an engagement that fans hoped would endure. Yet, like many Bachelor Nation engagements, it faltered quickly under the pressure of real life. Just a few months after the finale aired, Katie and Blake announced their split, both citing incompatibility despite mutual respect. Katie was heartbroken but not surprised. She'd long felt that the accelerated timeline of the show wasn't designed for real-world sustainability. Her next chapter surprised fans. She found love not with another franchise alum but with John Hersey, a contestant eliminated early in her season. Their connection blossomed outside the cameras, and for over a year they built a quiet, genuine relationship. But even that, too, came to an end, leaving Katie once again navigating public scrutiny over her private life. Critics accused her of being indecisive or chasing attention, while supporters praised her for living authentically and refusing to settle. The most surprising twist came when Katie began dating comedian Jeff Arcuri. Their chemistry was rooted in humor, shared sarcasm, and the kind of banter that reminded Katie of why she fell in love with comedy in the first place. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any update.